So Victoria and Michael Fulton are going to come right now, and they're going to share a little bit of their story. Of course, no one can share all their story, but again, a wonderful couple that's coming to Selwyn, and we were encouraged, and they're going to give us an update. Come on, guys, you want to stay down there or come up here? They're going to stay down here. Okay.
I'm going to start because I'm pretty sure the last time Michael spoke in front of a church, he never went back. So I promised him I'd start, let him warm up a little bit. To make a long story short, because we could really speak for hours about how much God has really moved in our life just this past short year. And to really kind of start, like I grew up going to private Christian schools, surprisingly enough, but as a younger teen into my 20s, my mom and I kind of moved into the spiritualistic beliefs instead, along with some of my aunts and my grandmother. My mom and my grandma were both Reiki masters. Like that's kind of where we really were for a number of years. And really, my mom, she was actually going to go get ordained and in that belief system, and God pretty much said, hey, you're going the wrong way, turn around. And she was like, oh, and she could just hear him so clearly, so she started searching for him. And it really scared me. It threw me off because I was like, hey, you're really changing the whole game on me. I can't believe it. And she, as any good mother would, she left me a trail of breadcrumbs to follow. We really found that COVID was truly a blessing in disguise for us. It really reevaluated our family, our values, and what we really thought. And it really showed me such true evils existed in this world. But that meant God was real. Like there was no more doubt in my mind. I'm like, well, if there's the devil, well, guess what? God is 100% there as well, and I have to go find him. So I started searching, and my mom kind of was like, well, she's more open to all of this stuff. And I ended up going to a freedom rally in my search. And on my way home, the freedom rally was, funny enough, in a church, and I could feel God there. And I was like, this is weird. And God started on the way home. I was just, I guess I know now, it was like the Holy Spirit like took me under fire, and it's like, come home, come home, come home. And I'm like, okay, where's home? Let's find where that is. And my mom was she started coming to little churches here and there once things started opening up, and she heard Bill Prankard speak here. And she's like, hey, Vic, like this church hosted this gentleman named Bill, and a lot of that stuff resonates with you, and I feel like you should, check out Selwyn. And I said, okay, we'll think about it. And she ended up coming here with my son Axel and test drove a service for me. And she was really, hey, you should really try it out. You should really try it out. And it took me a bit, but I finally came. And I remember the first service, I met Jess and her wonderful family, and it really made me feel so welcome. And I was like, okay, I can do this, because I just came with myself and my two little crazy wildling childs. So with the child care, it really made it so easy to come here. And I just remember I crumbled, completely crumbled. He brought me to my knees, and I was crying, and I was like, God, if you want me to come back, I got to stop crying. And I remember seeing my life almost flashing before my eyes when I was here. And I grew up with the poem Footprints in the Sand, and realizing God and Jesus, they walked with me my entire life. They were there, every blessing, finding my soulmate, my children, my career, everything. I'm like, God was there, and he showed me where exactly he was. And he's like, now it's time for you to be obedient. I've done all this for you. Now it's your turn. So I really, I jumped at the first chance of an altar call, and I was baptized at Easter. And I remember during the Easter baptism, I was walking up to the stairs, and I was praying to God, because it was the first time I was able to drag Michael out with me. And I was like, God, when will Michael come? Because I'm very scared for our marriage, because this is yet again throwing, to a whole new chapter of our lives. And he showed me that Michael would get baptized with my grandmother. And then I laughed, because no way Nanny was going underwater and getting her hair wet in front of people. So I started taking a page out of Pastor Brian's playbook, and I started bribing Michael with hot coffee and carbs in the morning for breakfast, and he started coming.